hope you are doing great. This is Sahare Kioni Haku, and here in this video, I am going to be mentioning some important points about placing the MEP families in Revit. So stay with me throughout this video. All in all, the families that we have in Revit could be one of the two kinds. They are either free or hosted. Now, the free families are the ones which we can place at any part of the project. But on the other hand, the hosted families need some type of a host so we can place them. We need to stick or hang them and depend them on something so we can place them. Now, the things they can be depended upon, those things could be walls or ceiling or floors or even ducts or doors, pretty much any item at all. But in general, the main thing about these families is that they need a host. If we don't consider or specify that type of a host, we won't be able to place these families. Now let's go see how we can place free and hosted families in this project. So to begin, and as an example, I'm going to be placing some terminals. So I'm going to go to the Systems tab and find Air Terminals and click on it. Now if I am going to place a free family, either in the floor plan or the ceiling plan, I can easily put in any elevation that I want here in the Properties window and then place that terminal wherever I like. For example, here it says from the level 3rd floor, and at elevation from that level, which is the 3rd floor, it is 3,000 millimeters. Now we can either click somewhere even outside the entire plan area to place that terminal, or we could just go over to the plan and be exactly according to it and click where it needs to be placed. So now I have placed this terminal wherever I want it and at any elevation that I selected. But now the thing is, we have to figure out what's the elevation of the ceiling from the FFL, because we need it to coordinate the elevation of the terminal with the elevation of the ceiling. So we might have to create a section. Now let's also minimize the section so long as we can see the terminal. Then right click and go to View. Now do you see how this terminal has been placed in the 3rd level? Let me also expand it from below so we can see the other levels as well. Now as you can see from the 3rd floor, the elevation 3000 turned out to be above the false ceiling. So now we either have to measure the elevation of the false ceiling or align them. We're going to go to Modify and Align. And then we're going to click on the false ceiling as our base, then align it with the bottom line of the terminal. Now if we click on the terminal, we see that its elevation changed to 2600. So the elevation is changeable and we can place these kinds of families wherever we like. So that's it about the free families. Now as for the hosted families, if you remember, we said that they needed a host before they can be placed. We can place these hosted families either in the floor plan view, or in the ceiling plan, or in 3D, as well as on a reference plane. So remember that we have 4 different ways through which we can place hosted families. Now let's go practice the best one, which is placing them through the ceiling plan. So we're going to go to the project browser window, then open the ceiling plan section, then open the ceiling plan which is related to ducts and has the plan linked in it. Let's place it right next to this one so we can compare their positions. Now we go to the Systems tab, then in the Properties window, and then select our hosted family, which right now it's Supply Diffuser Hosted, so we're going to click on it. And as you can see, the mouse pointer changed to Not Allowed sign, so we can't place it here. Let's even go out of the plan area. Do you see how it's still not allowed? So what should we do about it? Up here in the ribbon, we have 3 options. The one which is currently selected by default is placed on a vertical face. But our false ceiling face is not vertical, So we can change that and go select place on face, which helps us place the family on a horizontal face. Now we're going to go to the drawing area, and as you can see, the surrounding of the false ceiling becomes highlighted. This is just indicating the face for you. Now we're going to click, then our family places exactly on the false ceiling. Let's also check it in section. I'm going to create one right over here so I can see the hosted and the free terminal simultaneously. I'm going to minimize it a little as well. Now right click and go to view. Alright, now as you can see, this was the hosted family, which is now resting on the false ceiling. And this one is the free family we placed earlier. As you can see, I can very easily use the arrow keys from the keyboard to move it higher or lower. But as for the hosted family, right now I'm pressing the arrow keys, and as you can see, it's not moving. Why is that? Because it's been placed and stuck to the false ceiling. Now, in case your false ceiling moves in the architectural plan, the terminal will also move along because it's stuck to it. But right now and manually, I can change its elevation. Although I am able to move it around to the right or left, but I still can't move it higher or lower. So now let's go to the Systems tab and the Air Terminal command. This hosted family right here, even if it doesn't have the word hosted in front of it, we can still recognize if it is. If it is, up here in the ribbon, we would have these three options. But if it's a free family, just like the one we placed earlier in the video, as you can see up here in the ribbon, we don't have the three options place on vertical face or place on face and place on work plane. Those three options belong only to hosted families. Thank you for being with me throughout this video. If you would like to learn everything about placing MEP items from A to Z and also project-oriented, you can get yourselves the MEP Revit tutorial package by going to the Monroe College website. In this tutorial package, I have mentioned all the different ways of placing hosted families. And as far as the terminals go, we have specifically talked about placing the square ceiling terminals, as well as the sidewall terminals, plenum boxes, and linear slot diffusers, and explained everything that you need to know about them. So by getting this tutorial package, you will be able to place any type of a terminal and connect it to its duct.